Welcome, fellow gamer pothead. Your pal Potty Man here. Today, I just got done seeing Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I wanted to do my own review because I'm pretty excited about some of the things that happen in the movie. So here's the way I'm going to do it. When you see this basic Star Wars Rogue One picture that you see here, this is the spoiler-free review. Then when you see this Darth Vader picture, this is the spoiler review. Okay, we're going to start off with a spoiler-free review, and then I will warn people when we get into a spoiler review. So let's go ahead and get started with this right away. First off, spoiler-free. I've got to say, this is an amazing movie. They found ways, and understand, I'm not doing this scripted, so this is just going to be on whim. So excuse me, I have to backtrack. But basically, in the movie, it's exactly what you thought it was. If you're not familiar with it, it's the Rogue One is the group that gets the plans for the Death Star. That's not a spoiler. That's basically stating what the movie is all about in the first place. Fantastic shine to Felicity Jones. She did a great job as Jyn Erso. You may not get. Well, I'll explain that a little bit later in the spoiler review. But she did a great job. Diego Luna played Cassian Andor. He did a great job as well. But my favorite was Alan Tudyk. He played K250, KS0, or K2S0. K2SO. I'm messing that up all badly. I apologize. Great job. Funny, hilarious part of the movie. And, a lot of people shined in this movie. Forrest Whitaker did a great job. Mads Mikkelsen. Let's see here. We also got Donnie Yen. He played a character that just was amazing, his role. And the movie shines because it has an old look to it. You feel like you're actually seeing what it used to be, but with a newer look. It's kind of like using the old with the new. It's hard to explain until you've actually seen it, but most definitely, if you want things to be summed up from Episode 4, the original Star Wars, A New Hope, then definitely go and see this. It's going to fix a lot of things that you never realized that would be fixed, and it is definitely worth a see. So, without having to get into spoilers, I definitely recommend. Even take your family. It's a great movie. The whole family will love it, and the Star Wars geek in your life would definitely love it. So, okay, but that's kind of just a simple task. I'm telling you to go see it. It's definitely worth it. Now let's continue on to the spoiler review. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds if you want to stop the video. Okay, now that I've given you that 5 seconds, and if you actually want to know what the movie's about, I'll definitely explain. Here's what's going on. In the beginning of the movie, we see a young Jyn Erso, okay? Her father, played by Mads Mikkelsen, is Galen Erso as well. You also see his wife. I forgot her name, but I'll explain why I forgot her name. In the movie, we start off with the family. Galen Erso, his daughter Jyn Erso, and his wife. And they're approached by one of the commanders. It was actually, his name is and I'm actually having to pull this one up to give it to you. General Draven, and General Draven is actually there to approach Galen Erso because he's a science officer, and they want him to build the Death Star. And they're familiar that he has a family and everything. So what ends up happening is he has his daughter escape. His wife was supposed to be escaped too, but she ends up getting killed by the stormtroopers, or it's actually the dark troopers. I can't think of the name of them at the moment right now. But so he ends up going with them and agreeing to actually make the Death Star. But there's a key reason why he did it. See, as Jyn Erso grows up, she's actually raised by Saw Gerrera, played by Forrest Whitaker. And there's a reason why he's holding on to her, because she has a key role in this whole movie. So what ends up happening is they're trying to get to Galen Erso, and so the rebels actually send Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, to pick her up because she's the only one that can get connected with Saw Gerrera. of course, by Forrest Whitaker, because he raised her after her father went on to build the Death Star. Now, a lot of people think that he betrayed, because what ended up originally happened is he left the Empire because he didn't want to do any of the bad he was doing before. But when his family was threatened, he felt he needed to go and have this Death Star done. A lot of people in the movie, during the movie, think, oh, well, he's fucking evil, why would he do that? But there's a reason why this all happens. See, as a science officer, he decides to build the Death Star, but he's still on the side of the rebels. And what ends up happening is he sends a message to his daughter through Forrest Whitaker's character, Saw Gerrera, when she goes back to visit, because the rebels know that she's the only one that can get to Forrest Whitaker's character, Saw Gerrera. So that's the reason why they end up grabbing her and taking her to get close to him. Because if they can get close to him, they can get close to Galen Erso, her father, so they can stop him from, they already made the Death Star at that point, but to question him and actually kill him, which she doesn't know at that point. So what ends up happening is she receives a message from her father. And in that message, it states that, yes, he built the Death Star, but he knew if he didn't do it, they would do it anyway. So he ends up telling her that he made a slight change to the Death Star that they didn't know about, that there's a weakness. And he set blueprints out under a certain name that you find out with her. It's not her name, but it's a nickname that he had for her. And I can't remember, it's Starlight, I think it was. And they end up going to where the blueprints are, this is where Rogue One comes in. The whole group is going to get the blueprints. The reason the blueprints are so crucial is because the blueprints actually tell of the flaw in it, and the flaw was put in there by Galen Erso so that they can destroy it. So the whole reason he built it is because he knew they would build it, so if he builds it, they wouldn't know that there's a flaw in the blueprints, which of course they do find out that there is, and that's the reason Darth Vader starts chasing it down. So what ends up happening is Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa is actually there, and what he ends up doing is they end up sending the blueprints from the island, but unfortunately the Death Star actually blows up the island or the planet that they're on, and of course, unfortunately, all of Rogue One dies. But the signal for the blueprints is set off, and they send it to Bail Organa. Well, no one knows that under the watchful eye of Bail Organa, he has somebody else that takes the blueprints. This is where the magic of Disney and them set it up. See, in the movie, when it comes to, I forgot his name already, the bad guy in the movie, I think it's Orson Krennic. Yeah, Orson Krennic. He's the one that actually works closely, but works with Galen Erso, and is the one that brings him back. So this is what they end up doing. When he approaches the Grand Moff Tarkin is actually CGI. He looks a lot like the other one. And Ingrid Delia actually plays a very crucial character. She actually plays Princess Leia in the movie, or the voice of, because if you know now, Carrie Fisher, she's gotten older, her voice has changed a little bit, okay? So, Tarkin and Leia were actually CGI. Darth Vader finds out that there's a plot hole, so you start seeing him, as they're trying to pass on the blueprints, he's killing so many rebels in his path. And what ends up happening is Bail Organa gets the blueprints and says he knows exactly who he can trust. And they said, well, we need somebody that's strong enough to protect her, or, to get these where they need to go. And that's when Bail Organa says, I do know a friend in the past during the Clone Wars. He's referring to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Obi-Wan Kenobi ends up, they don't show Obi-Wan Kenobi, but that's where it leads into. So Bail Organa gives Princess Leia the blueprints, just like you see in A New Hope, and it continues on. And again, the whole plot of this is to show that the plot hole that was big in A New Hope, where why would they have a hole in it, is because they never knew it. And once they found out there was a hole in it, they already had the Death Star activated. So at that point, what they had to do was they had to get the plans back. That's why they start chasing down the plans and find out that Princess Leia has it. That's where it ends up in the movie. It even does a great job to where one of the rebel soldiers hands it off to Princess Leia, which they show her from back, but then she turns around, and it's a CGI one, but it's very beautiful. And he says, "What are these for?" And she says, "Hope." It's for hope, which leads into A New Hope. So they did a great job of doing the one thing every Star Wars fan did, fixing that plot hole. Because that was a major plot hole. Why would they have a weakness in the Death Star that's so easy to destroy? And that's the reason, because the main character's father is the one that actually set it up. Galen Ursa was part of the Imperials, but he ended up betraying them by actually building the one thing they were planning on building anyway, but giving it a flaw so the rebels can win. So, again, it sums it all up. Now, I want to say this. As far as Tarkin and Leia, you see CGI's version of them. It's very beautiful. I love the way they look. But I think the one thing we have problems with CGI is our eyes can still tell fake from human. Now, it's not... Understand... You can actually get past it, because when you see Tarkin a lot, and Princess Leia you don't see that much, but when you see Tarkin, first time you see him, you can see the CGI. Well, as you watch the movie and they show him several times, you can actually ignore that as well. It's not really something that's bothersome. But, so was it good? Well, most definitely. It was a climactic ending. It was very interesting. I got into the characters. There was a theory that they end up being the Nine, but unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Unfortunately, I think they're all dead. But it leads into the new movie. So, once it comes on Blu-ray, I'm definitely going to watch this between 3 and 4. Because it definitely fits in there perfectly. There's not any reference to 3 at all. There is references to 4, as in 4 references back to these. So it really works out for the plot and the idea. And they even used all the graphic effects that they did on the terminals. Everything was there. It was a beautiful sight to re-see that stuff again. So again, if you want to see Star Wars or Rogue One, a Star Wars story, most definitely, if you've seen A New Hope, you're going to want to see this, because it will fix a lot of plot holes and make things a lot more understandable and enjoyable too. I quite enjoyed it, and I can't wait to go back and watch A New Hope. I think I'm going to watch that sometime tonight. So there you have it. That's the review for Star Wars Rogue One. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button. I will definitely do a review of all the Star Wars movies, and I will do further reviews like this in the future. I'm also going to do a New Year's Day run-up of all the movies you should have seen if you haven't seen them yet. So, again, thank you for watching. I am Putty Man with Gamer Potheads, and as always, we're about the high score. Go see Star Wars Rogue One, and peace out. I'll talk to y'all later.